cannot hear me. 22 years in the Army and 3 years of that as a drill sergeant. I have a voice that seems to carry. Okay? So I don't like to talk with the microphone because I make sure that people hear me when I say something. I try to make sure that I'm clear. First of all, I want to thank Brian and his family for inviting us out to their home for this great... I want to let you know, too, that I'm choosing Chuck. Absolutely. I'll be casting my vote for Miss Bull to be our next treasurer because logical progression shows that she's managing a budget that's that large right now for the city. Logical progression says she moves to county and helps us out with our problems too. It just makes good sense. Okay? I will definitely be casting my vote for those two people. Jail, I guess that's what you want to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about George first. I don't want to toot my own horn. My brochures are over there. 22 years in the Army. Got out of the Army and then I went up to Moline and became a counselor for veterans. I counseled them on job opportunities, and thank you for your service incidentally. Counseled them on job opportunities and education. Then I went from that to being a police officer. Then I retired as a police officer in 2007. Okay? I know a lot about this jail. I presently serve on the Mercer County Board, represent District 1, which is 6 townships. And I was, until a few months ago, I was chairman of the Law Enforcement Committee, and I was put in that position by the board chairman because I was the only law enforcement person on that board. After 16 months, I was taken off of that committee by the chairman because he didn't like the fact that I questioned some of the things that the county did. And I was made to know in no uncertain terms, you don't ever question the sheriff's department. No accountability. Now you cannot afford to have an agency that powerful in a county that cannot be questioned. That hurts us all, and it makes us all look bad. It makes them look real bad. Okay? So that's one of the things that I'm going to promise you as your sheriff. There will always be accountability. Because in my heart, I know that that sheriff's department is supposed to be accountable not only to the people, but to that board. And I know that. And under my guidance, it will be. Okay? So, as Brian was saying earlier, you know, again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I really got into that sheriff's department budget when I was chairman of the Law Enforcement Committee. And I haven't given that up. Nobody knows that budget better than I do. The difference between how they operate it now and how they'll do it if I'm there is I will give the county board a budget that is accurate to begin with. Last year, when we did budget, when it came budget time, I was directly responsible. I questioned the sheriff's department and said, here's 2 line items that I believe are way over. And rather than just cut the money off, I took it down to him. I tried to be upfront and honest and said, you show me how these numbers are correct, and I'll back away. He tapped on that calculator for a half hour and couldn't come up with those numbers. So I said, you're telling me you do not need that money? He said, oh, yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. So now if we'd have just voted that through, there's $200,000 that they would have spent of your taxpayer money that they really did not need to operate their department. Can we really afford that? Who has $200,000 laying around you can just throw out like that? Because I want to talk to you as soon as we're done here if you do. Okay? So, nobody knows that budget better than I do. My promise to you is, for the residents of Mercer County, when I send that budget to the county board for approval, it'll be right when I send it. There won't be any need to question, but they may if they wish. I'll answer all your questions. I don't have an issue with that. I want to be open, fair, I want to be accountable. But most of all, I want you to get the bang you're supposed to have for your law enforcement buck, which I don't believe we're getting right now. Okay? I think we can do this much better. And I know we can. I have a plan. You talk about the jail, a lot of numbers thrown out. The Democrats have their own separate numbers. But I'm telling you, if you read the newspaper, in that little blocked column, where they said that, oh, we're making money, or we're at the break-even point, that was an absolute fabrication. And if anybody wants to go through the numbers, I can show you the numbers. We're in debt with that jail right now for about $800,000. And I can tell you that that's money you can't get back. If they fill that jail tomorrow at 102 capacity, and they're all paying customers, you can't get that money back. It's spent, it's gone. You can't replace it. So you're already in debt for the jail. How many of you have $800,000 laying around? He's pointing to him. He's pointing to him. Hey, corral these two when we leave, because evidently these guys got a lot of money between the two of them. But I'm just telling you, that money's gone. You can't get it back. And I would think that by now, we'd be tired of being lied to. We should be. Okay? Those numbers were an absolute fabrication when they printed them. They knew it. The reporters that printed them knew it. And they printed them anyway. So, but we should be tired of that by now. But we can do better. I'm telling you we can do better. And I'll do better for you. Like I say, nobody knows that budget better than I do. Not even the people down at the Sheriff's Department. So we'll crunch that budget. We'll make it right by you. And we'll still give you fair, impartial, efficient law enforcement. There's lots of ways to do that too. All we have to do is get out there and do it. And that's what I'll do for you.
What are you going to do with the jail if it never gets paid?
I think the jail is manageable. Okay, look, we'll go back and talk about the jail just a little bit again. Number one, jail never should have happened, but it did, because we had a board at the time that they thought they knew better what you needed and wanted than you did. So they never put it on the ballot. They just said, no, build it. Okay? Never should have happened. But now it's here. We can't just make it disappear. Can't make the loan disappear. So now we're obligated to make it work. And I think we can make it work. I don't think the jail, in the next 16 or 17 years is going to make a profit like you were promised. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe the people that voted for it believe that. But we can make it manageable. We can fix it so it doesn't lose money, so that we're not making payments that we can't cover. And there's two things you have to do that. And Ted touched on both of them. You've got to fill as many of those bunks as you can. And if that means going outside Cook County and Chicago, that's what you have to do. There are other organizations in this state who still need to house different types of prisoners. Okay? So you've got to go out there and fill as many of those cots as you can fill, number one. And number two, once you crunch those numbers for how many cots you fill and how much money you're bringing in, you start cutting the rest of it. Okay? You stop spending the money. You don't keep 4 jailers down there to house prisoners that you don't have. Okay? That's what we're doing right now. We hired 4 new jailers to house 40 new inmates that we don't have. Does that make good sense to you? How many of you businessmen keep 4 extra people on and you don't have anything for them to do? They just sit in the office and drink coffee with you. Dang, nobody raised their hand. Amazing. But that's how we're working here. Okay? And I'm not saying just the jail, but the jail is our prime concern. There's other areas too. But we can't continue to pay people. We can't continue to spend money that we don't have. We know we don't have it. We know it's not coming in. You can't sit there and hope that Cook County is going to fill some cots for us in 3 or 4 years. And that's another issue that always gets me. It's been like that ever since I've moved back to this county, is we let Chicago and Cook County tell us what to do. Are downstaters not tired yet of Cook County holding us hostage? Folks, come on. Why? Why do we let them do that to us? We just do it time after time. It's promises, promises. Are you not tired of the empty promises? We need to take care of our own. And that's what I'm telling you that I'll do. Okay? Thank you.